Do you want more success, more growth, more results? Then it's time for the Boundless Success Accelerator from the Modern Observer Group. This isn't your average coaching program. It's where top performers come to dominate. Weekly group sessions, on-demand coaching, a community that's got your back, and a power-packed library of tools to supercharge your business and career. No more excuses, no more waiting. Get in, level up, and start building the life you've been dreaming about. Visit us at modernobserver.com/boundlesssuccess to join today. Let's get you to the next level. We're here because the news is being distorted. We're here because people are being inundated with misinformation on social media. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth. The Ukraine deal collapses. Andrew Cuomo returns to politics. Connecticut school graduates an illiterate student with honors. Promising news in the world of science, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. President Trump cut Ukrainian President Zelensky's White House visit short after a tense Oval Office exchange. Zelensky left the White House Friday without signing an agreement giving the U.S. access to his country's mineral resources after an unusually heated public spat between Zelensky, Trump, and Vice President J.D. Vance over the U.S.'s negotiations with Russia to end the war in Ukraine. Trump and Vance aggressively chastised Zelensky in front of reporters in the Oval Office, saying he wasn't thankful enough for U.S. aid. You're gambling with World War III, and what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, Trump said. The open tension calls into question whether the Trump administration will continue to provide military support to Ukraine as it tries to repel Russia's invasion. The clash was not unusual in the world of politics. Similar arguments happened between Zelensky and Biden. The same also occurred between the head of Pakistan and both the Obama and Bush administrations. The difference this time is that it occurred in front of cameras. European allies, led by the UK and France, will work with Ukraine to try to forge a peace plan that they would present to President Trump. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said Sunday that he had spoken to Trump. Starmer emphasized that European countries would need to step up their own share of the burden towards security guarantees for Ukraine in the event of a peace deal. Starmer also said the UK is prepared to deploy boots on the ground in Ukraine as well as Air Force assets to ensure Russia does not infringe on a peace agreement. He nevertheless stated that the plan would rely heavily on U.S. backing as well. On Saturday, Zelensky thanked President Trump for America's support, but he also said Trump needs to stand more firmly behind Ukraine. A senior military leader of the terrorist organization Haras al-Din, an al-Qaeda affiliate, was killed in a precision airstrike in Syria carried out by U.S. Central Command forces, according to a press release. Mohammed Youssef Zaya Taleh was killed in an airstrike that CENTCOM says is part of its efforts to disrupt and degrade terrorists' plans to harm civilians or military personnel from the U.S. and its allies. As we have said in the past, we will continue to pursue relentlessly these terrorists in order to defend our homeland and U.S. allied and partner personnel in the region, General Michael Eric Kurilla, commander of the U.S. Central Command, said in a press release. President Trump signed an executive order Friday that designated English as the official language of the U.S. The order permits government agencies and organizations receiving federal funding to decide whether to offer their services in other languages going forward, which they had previously been required to do under an order signed by former President Bill Clinton. Though there's never been an official language at the federal level, 30 plus states already have legislation making English the official language. Microsoft said Saturday evening that service was restored following an outage that left tens of thousands of users unable to access their Outlook email accounts and other programs. We're investigating an issue in which users may be unable to access Outlook features and services. Microsoft 365 Status, the official Microsoft account for 365 service incidents, said in a post on X. Services such as Microsoft Outlook, Microsoft Exchange, Microsoft Teams, Microsoft 365, and Microsoft Azure were reported down as of about 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. More than 37,000 individuals reported an Outlook outage, and roughly 24,000 reported an outage in the tech company's 365 service, according to Down Detector, while roughly 150 users reported their Teams accounts were down. The outages were most highly concentrated in the New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles areas, according to the Down Detector reports. A Connecticut honors student is suing her school district, saying she is illiterate, despite graduating from Hartford Public High School in June with honors and getting a scholarship to the University of Connecticut. Alicia Ortiz is claiming she cannot read or write. The 19-year-old, who spent 12 years in the Hartford Public School District, testified at a May City Council meeting explaining her unique situation and how the educational system failed her. I decided that they, the school, had 12 years, Ortiz, a native of Puerto Rico, told CNN. Now it's my time. Ortiz is suing the Hartford Board of Education, the City of Hartford, and her special education case manager, Tilda Santiago, for negligence. According to her lawsuit, she began having problems with letter, sound, and number recognition as early as first grade, and because those issues were not addressed, she began acting out in school. Disgraced former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who resigned in 2021 amid numerous sexual harassment allegations and mismanagement of COVID, is running for New York City mayor. The former governor made the announcement Saturday in a video on X, ending weeks of speculation. Our city is in crisis. That's why I am running to be mayor of New York City. We need government to work. We need effective leadership, he said. Cuomo, a Democrat, will run against incumbent Mayor Eric Adams and other candidates in the June 24th primary in a ranked choice vote ballot. Google officially began the process of unwinding the company's diversity, equity, and inclusion programs on Friday, according to a source familiar with the company's decision-making. The tech giant announced in a February company memo that they were discontinuing their diversity goals of hiring more employees from underrepresented groups and was analyzing whether their other initiatives were in compliance with President Trump's executive orders targeting DEI in the public and private sector. Google is now ending their equity and inclusion employee trainings that the company previously conducted, according to the source. In health news, antioxidants may help protect us from microplastics. The compounds that give fruits, vegetables, and flowers their bright hues appear to stave off some of the ill effects that microplastics have on reproductive systems, according to a new peer-reviewed research. After exposing mice to materials that mimic the disease impact of microplastics, researchers treated them with antioxidants called anthocyanins, which were found to improve sperm count and help protect the rodent's testicular and ovarian functions from damage. They say this makes anthocyanins a promising candidate for developing fertility treatments to counter human exposure to microplastics, which is also linked to inflammation, heart disease, and cancer. Finally, for the first time, a private lunar lander sticks the landing on the moon. Firefly Aerospace, a 10-year-old startup based in Texas, became the first private company to get a lunar lander on the moon without it tipping over or crashing, the Associated Press reported. The craft, named Blue Ghost, is carrying 10 experiments for NASA, which paid it $101 million for the feat. A lander from competing Texas startup Intuitive Machines is expected to land on Thursday, and Japanese company iSpace plans to join the party in June, both of which will be attempting landings for a second time. The Firefly Endeavour is one of NASA's investments under its commercial lunar payload services, which is hoping to encourage private companies to heat up the lunar economy with autonomous vehicles before astronauts land again around 2027. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcasts app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.